What is the ideal body type for ballet? The current mold is extremely specific, and many of even the greatest dancers in the world don't fit into it, including names like Baryshnikov, Kelsey Kirkland, Diana Vishneva. I get a lot of comments on my last video where I mentioned that principal ballerina from New York City Ballet, Sarah Mearns, has been criticized for her body type, and people are saying, how is that even possible? She looks so amazing. And you know what? She does look amazing. So let's take a look at some of the specifics of this elusive mold. Many people, when they think ballerina body, they understandably think thin. But did you know you can actually be thin as a rail and have none of the requirements that are considered ideal for ballet technique and aesthetic? So we'll take a look, but to be extremely clear, these are not my opinions. I know that there are many different shapes and styles that can be incredibly thrilling performers and successful dancers. This is for educational purposes, so that when you hear a dancer was criticized or rejected from a school because of, X, Y, and Z on their legs, you'll know what they're talking about. For example, when the big schools audition kids who have had zero training before, what kind of physique will they look for that they feel could be successful in ballet? We'll start at the bottom of the body. So they'll look for high insteps or high arches. You see how her foot kind of makes a C curve. And then moving up the leg, they'll look for a slightly hyperextended knee. So you see how her knee bends back a little bit, and then the knee plus the foot makes kind of an S curve. And then moving up, her legs are slightly longer than her torso, and then moving into the hips, they'll look for rotation, a turned out leg. So some people are naturally more turned in, like in parallel. They'll look for rotation and natural turnout at the top of the leg, at the hip. They'll look for a modicum of flexibility in the back, long arms to match the line of the leg, and long muscles that aren't, super naturally bulky. Moving up, they'll look for a long neck and one that kind of slopes into the shoulders as opposed to having more square shoulders, which is something that Sarah Mearns gets criticized for. It's ridiculous, but I'm just telling you what it is. So they'll look for this long neck you see shown here on Maria Kareva. Her neck sort of blends into her shoulder line. And then this next one might surprise you a little bit, but they'll look for a small head. Not absurdly small like a pinhead, still proportioned, but they won't look for the big square jaw and super high cheekbones, the way actresses have. That shape head shows up well on film, but it's different for stage. The dancer that I used for this video is Maria Kareva. She's a soloist with the Mariinsky Theater and graduated from the Vaganova School, where they only take students who have exactly this body type, except Diana Vishneva was an exception to that. She doesn't exactly have the right feet and legs, and she became a huge next level international star. She was actually rejected the first 2 times she auditioned, but on the 3rd time, her future teacher, walked into the room and said, "Look at her eyes, we have to take her."